Take Those Pants Off and Put Your Bra Back On. Written by T.L. Brown. Narrated by Janet Rose. Part 1. What are you wearing? I don't care how nice your pants are, they never look as good on you as a dress. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Introduction. It's simple, very simple. If a man can't open a door for me, then I can't open my heart or anything else he might want me to open up later on for him. Yes, keep that mind in the gutter because I definitely mean those and that too. That's my attitude when it comes to the modern male. Not that I'm some nose-in-the-air prima donna, but let's face it, chivalry is a turn-on. And by the contrary, nothing turns me off quicker than a man with no manners. I'm just going to say it. These days, it's as if some men feel as if we should be pulling out their chairs or telling them their hair looks nice, asking for their hand in marriage, sweeping them off their feet. Aren't they serious? Are we serious? Listen up, ladies. It's time we put an end to this nonsense. It's time we reassume our role as the chased, not the chaser. Kick off those cross trainers, loosen up those laces. We're not men. We're not boys. We're women. Whether we sign our names with Ms., Miss, or Mrs., it's high time we remember the prestige of those honorifics. It's time we knew our value, our worth, our role. Not seeing ourselves as the prize has been our romantic demise, our emotional, psychological, and material downfall. It's time we get up. It's time we take back our power. It's time we own it, exercise it right away. It's time we take our pants off and put our bras back on and demand some good old-fashioned chivalry in our love lives. Not for you, boo? I'm a woman who has made my fair share of romantic mistakes. Roman mistakes, I call them, including some of the things we discuss in this book. This book is not for the woman who is perfect and who has got it all together, who never makes any mistakes or false moves with men. This is for the rest of us who sometimes fumble through romance, forgetful of our own true worth. Furthermore, it's not for the woman who already has an awesome, can-do-no-wrong, closest thing to Jesus kind of man standing steadily by her side. It's for those of us who don't. Hallelujah. Say it ain't so, Sadie. We've all probably heard of Sadie Hawkins Day and its self-titled dances where the girls ask the guys out on this one-night-only event that occurs annually on November 15th. Perhaps it sounds exciting to change things up, to indulge in some role-reversing ritual for a single night in the name of fun. What's the harm, you might say? You want to get your Sadie on and take the beau by the horns? Fair enough. But before you pump that breath spray and slick back your bangs all Fonzie style, preparing to approach your male target, are you aware of the backstory? Have you heard about the origin of this backwards boy-chasing occasion? If not, the following is according to Wikipedia. In Little Abner, Sadie Hawkins was the daughter of one of Dogpatch's earliest settlers, Hegzebia Hawkins. The homeliest gal in all them hills, she grew up frantic waiting for suitors. When she reached the age of 35, still a spinster, her father was worried about Sadie living at home for the rest of her life. In desperation, he called together all the unmarried men of Dogpatch and declared it Sadie Hawkins Day. A foot race was decreed, with Sadie pursuing the town's eligible bachelors. She was specifically interested in a handsome boy named Adam, who was already in a courtship with a cute girl, Teresa, whose father was the area's largest potato farmer, Bill Richmond, and unlike Sadie, had a number of courtship offers. Adam was invited to the race because Miss Teresa and Adam weren't actually engaged. With matrimony as the consequence of losing the foot race, the bachelors of the town were running for their freedom. Adam scored 4th place out of 10, leaving John Johnston as Sadie's prize. It is possible that the concept's origins are in an inversion of the myth of Atalanta, who, reluctant to marry, agreed to wed whoever could outrun her in a foot race. When I's a fires my gun, all y'all can start a running. When I's a fires again, after giving you a fair start, Sadie starts a running. The one she catches'll be her husband. The town Spencers decided that this was a good idea, so they made Sadie Hawkins Day a mandatory yearly event, much to the chagrin of Dogpatch's bachelors. If a woman caught a bachelor and dragged him, kicking and screaming, across the finish line before sundown, by law he had to marry her. Sadie Hawkins Day was first mentioned in the November 15th, 1937 Little Abner daily comic strip, with the race actually being depicted between November 19th and November 30th. It would prove to be an annual feature of Little Abner. See Shriner Dave, Sadie's First Run, Little Abner Dailies, Volume 3, 1937, Kitchen Sink Press, Princeton, Wisconsin, page 8. Is this the biography you'd like written about you one day? Do you want some much smaller scale historian, aka your lousy ex-boyfriend, retelling a moment in time from his perspective where you were the reject running him down? Listen up, Sadie. Can I call you Sadie? Every day is not the 15th, and every month is not November, so let that story be a source of motivation, a cautionary tale as you come along with me and get your single and dating act together. But first, let's gauge your level of need. Let's see just how closely related you are to the seemingly self-loathing Sadie. Is she your fifth cousin or your great aunt? Did you inherit her unappealing style of interacting with men? A victim of heredity? Are your dating deeds dead ringers for Auntie Sadie's? Since we don't have either of your DNA readily available, let's assess your Guy Q via a few questions to either rule in or rule out any possible relation. Are you book smart but boy dumb? Take the quiz and find out. Do you lead a team of 100 plus employees but think men are superior to you? Do you spend more hours preparing for a date than it took you to finish reading War and Peace? Do you pay for your own dinner on a date and then take him home for a little dessert? Do you get excited when a man you barely know texts you at 9 o'clock at night? Do you make decisions based solely on a man's desires? Do you want to cry when so-and-so you barely know doesn't call you in 3 days? Do you get jealous and competitive when your boyfriend tells you that other women have the hots for him? Do you believe a man's mouth instead of your own gut? Do you tell a guy how cute he is every chance you get? Do you believe frustration plus confusion plus constant yearning equals red-hot passion? Guy Q results. If you answered yes to 3 or more of the questions, then you could certainly benefit from raising your Guy Q, because there's a good chance that you, my dear, are Sadie reincarnated. The good news is, unlike your IQ, your Guy Q can be significantly raised in just the time it takes to read this book, by following some simple, self-empowering steps. All it takes is for you to stay focused, be open to sound advice, and most importantly, be honest. Seriously, you must let down your guard and be completely honest with yourself when reflecting on your dating style, habits, and experiences while reading this book. I promise that your most embarrassing secrets are safe here. So go ahead, truth on. Rest assured. If your Guy Q is low, know 2 things. Number 1, you're not alone. Many of us score below proficiency when it comes to knowing how to be successful with he who has a testicle or 2. We neglect to acknowledge our self-worth and therefore begin exuding characteristics and behaviors that are unflattering to us and are counterproductive to our mission of connecting with a quality man with whom to cultivate a gender-healthy female-friendly relationship. Number 2, it's not your fault. Women have been conditioned, brainwashed, programmed to accept less than what we deserve. And as you'll see, this conspiracy has been years in the making.